Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in. The COD Ireland playoffs have now reached their final stages. The grand finals of Division 1 here for you tonight. Should be some fantastic games. Well, I say some fantastic games. I'm used to saying that because all playoffs we've had multiple games to bring to you, but now it's just the one, the pinnacle, the ultimate, and who is going to take that grand prize. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for being in here today, and we have for you for a formidable matchup to say the least. Fluxx Esports taking on Only the Greatest, or Billiest Funding as they've been known throughout the season, being picked up by Only the Greatest, who are also going to be taking part in Season 2 of the COD Ireland League. So we're very much looking forward to welcoming them back. Will we be welcoming them back next season as the inaugural Division 1 champions? We will soon see. Of course, we hope to see Fluxx Esports back as well, and very similar. Will we see them back, and will they come back champions? If they do so, one of these teams are going to be known as the first ever top division champions on the island of Ireland within COD Ireland. A terrific achievement, I know. And of course, there's a little bit of prize money there. I mean, albeit not much. I mean, look, that's the one thing about doing something for Ireland, COD Ireland. You're starting off. It's greatness from small beginnings, right? Any Uncharted fans out there will know where that one's from. But folks, seriously, do welcome on in. Thank you very much for all being here. Just seeing Gara in with the follow as well. Appreciate you, Gara. Thank you very much for coming in and checking this out. For those of you who may be new in here, because I'm seeing a couple of first-timers in here for the first time. Obviously, for the first time, you're first-timers. But we run on a 1-minute delay to protect the competitive integrity of the game. So in reacting to comments, when I'm talking to y'all, if it's a little late, don't worry. I apologize. I swear to God, I'm not ignoring you. I love you all, and I'm really, really happy that you're all in here as well. And yeah, I really appreciate the support, Garrett. Good luck to everyone. And saying appreciate you, Garrett. Thank you so much for coming in and checking this out as well. And it was an absolute pleasure to get running into you again at Gamerfest as well. And I hope to do so again if you'll be back at it in May when that does happen. Always love that you always showed support to me, even from day one, route one. Gara's always shown support to me. So folks, not that I would need to say it, maybe the COD communities don't know as much, but the Gara show does so much for Irish content creation. Go give him a follow right now. It feels weird for me being here saying that, because most of you here, if you're not followed already, you're doing something wrong. But go over and follow that man right now. He's a legend in this Irish scene, and thanks a million once again for coming in, my friend. And the chat is popping, trying to catch up with the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the beauty with just having one game tonight, is that we actually have just a little bit of time to be able to talk, to digest, to understand what's coming up tonight. And as I said, it's an immaculate game. Fluxx Esports have been a terrific roster throughout the course of this season, and arguably fan favorites to come away with the Division 1 title. And you know, the Billiest Funding roster aside, that I didn't know really that much about, to be honest, going into this, and then going through the playoffs, not only sending Fluxx before down to the losers, but actually taking out Faceless as well. I mean, they have come against some top level opposition and won. So, you know, they're the winning seeded team. They're the team that's looking the strongest. And if Fluxx are to get through this tonight, they need to win this best of 5. But that'll then set off a bracket reset where we restart again. It's a best of 5 bracket reset scenario here tonight, folks. So that is going to be really fun. Fluxx have the harder evening ahead of them. Will they be able to deal with the pressure? And yes, I'm catching up on this chat now. Again, thank you all so much for showing the love and support. Anyone seen Bisto Bob around? Yeah, whereas I was trying to get Bisto to compete this season. It was, I think it was just a case of scheduling issues, but I would have loved to have gotten Bisto competing this season. He's someone that have been tearing up Div 1 for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. And ladies and gentlemen, I take a look here. The teams are getting ready and getting set up, and the follows coming in as well. VK coming in with the follow. Really do appreciate that, my friend. Again, for those of you who are in here for the first time, who may not have seen what's been going on with COD Ireland, let me show you what the playoff bracket has looked like so far for this Division 1, so you can see, in a way, the tail of the tape. And folks, there you have your Division 1 playoff bracket. You've begun your winners round 1 with Faceless versus Fresh Milk. And Fresh Milk, they're a good roster, but they are on the same level of Faceless Esports, and they made quick work of them to move on to the round 2. You also had games that were played here and there. You also had forfeits here and there. It's usually just how all these things go, especially with the tight schedule. It's one thing we will improve going into Season 2, is to try and create the playoff schedule in a way that is a little more well-rounded for people who don't have as much time to be able to get in and play COD games. You know, we're always trying to hit that middle ground, and that's why we're always appreciating the feedback that the community provides. moving on through, you had Bilious Funding getting through, of course, as they are here tonight, along with Fluxx. They beat Insufficient Funds to begin with, going down through the bottom and moving on to winners round 2 as well. You have Faceless, took out Infinity. You had the big game between Bilious Funding and Fluxx Esports before, where Bilious Funding actually came through the victors and sent Fluxx down, where they had to take on Mango's Beatty Boys and then once again meet up against Insufficient Funds, where the search and destroy was a little bit difficult, but for the most part, they made short enough work with them and got moved on to the losers round final, where I believe in sort of a shocking display, they 3-0'd Faceless Esports in a really dominant performance. Faceless Esports, again, one of those rosters, could have potentially been the favorites to come away with the whole thing, but whatever Fluxx was cooking with the last night was just different gravy. And when we saw that broadcast last night, Bilious Funding done a good job against Faceless, and Faceless didn't even really pick up a map, you know. It was crazy. It was crazy, but again, I think that is the testament, should I say, to the level of these two teams. And folks, I will take you back here one more time to take a look at beautiful faces that cast. You're not going to get to see it much because we're going to be going on to the screens now to show you the maps and modes that will be coming up in today's broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely cannot wait to get into it. 40 of you here already to check out the grand final of the COD Ireland League, the game hopefully starting before 9 o'clock. So we're not going to be waiting too much longer. At max, it probably will be just 9 o'clock. So, of course, touch wood in saying that, COD players, we may end up getting delayed till 10 now. But hopefully that is not the case. And again, I'm really thankful for all you coming in here as well and just showing the support. It's been a really big season for us. We have Season 2 that is going to be underway very, very shortly after the fact. For those of you who may be interested in taking part in Season 2, you can find the link to the sign-ups on our Twitter. You can also find it within the COD Ireland card link. I believe so. One of the admins, I'm sure, can link that. And then we also have our Discord as well, which you absolutely need to be in to take part in the league. And the sign-up form is already in there somewhere if you want to take part in Season 2, where we're going to have more divisions to cater to all skill levels. We're going to have a little bit of a less strenuous schedule for the players. We hope players can schedule games whenever they want, but it was usually a case of minimum games per week in order to keep up with the league, and we're going to shorten that number by a little bit so teams aren't as bogged down by the amount of games. And yeah, we're just streamlining and improving a lot of things that we've done throughout Season 1. Again, it's a new team. You know, myself, my first time doing this, along with the rest of the admin team, who've been absolutely fantastic this season, by the way. Can we actually just get a quick shout out for everyone that's in the admin team? Because I'm not even going to list through names, because I'll ultimately leave out one name by mistake, because I'm terrible like that, and then I won't hear the end of it. So all the admin team who've been absolutely phenomenal this year, please show them the love and support that they deserve, because honestly, they were the ones that were going through the day-to-day. I was very much trying to set up for the content, very much trying to do the business end of things, trying to very much build graphics to do these streams, everything that you're seeing in front of you today. But the day-to-day, that league running, those scores being inputted, databases being kept up with, tickets being dealt with, the day-to-day ins and outs of all the turmoil that can come with leagues was dealt with by this admin team as a whole. Phenomenal team, and I'm already looking forward to getting right down to business with them for Season 2, in which we're already deep in discussions for Season 2 stuff. We kind of put a pin in it for the playoffs. We said, right, let's focus on getting these playoffs done, get through that, but we are very much straight away moving on to implementing everything that we need to on the back end for Season 2. And Season 2, by the way, I forgot to say about the signups will close on the 31st of January, and then either in the first or second week of February we will begin that season. And we're actually going to create a season schedule which we will post prior to that season beginning, so players are completely aware from the moment that they begin how long the season will run, when the playoffs will be, how long that'll be, etc, etc. And of course that is subject to some changes based off how the season progresses, and of course there's still a lot that we need to learn, but you'll have more of an idea going into these things, won't be kept in the dark, because honestly we didn't have an idea at the beginning of Season 1 how it was going to be. Again, we thought, folks, that we were only going to get an absolute maximum of 24 teams in this first season, and we ended up getting 38 teams. And again, I want to say here, as this is the last broadcast that we're doing before Season 2, as I believe we have no real tournaments or anything like that inbound. Of course, if that changes, we'll let you know. But can you please just give credit to all of yourselves as well who played in the league this season, because this wouldn't exist, next season wouldn't be happening, tournaments wouldn't be happening, the upcoming lands wouldn't be still in talks and undergoing that sort of that back end of whether or not we can make this happen, what we need to do. None of that would be happening if you guys didn't decide, I like what I'm seeing here, I want to go in and compete, and maybe if I'm not competing, I'm going to come in and I'm going to watch these streams, I'm going to show my support where I can. We don't exist if not for you, and the support that you've shown through this has been absolutely fantastic. So again, just thank you very much, and I've spent about, what, 10 minutes saying thanks now, so we will start getting this move swiftly along. Don't you worry, folks. I'm not going to sit here and be pandering thanks all day, because I know that's not what you're here for. Like, shut up, Zep, we don't even like you, we're here to watch the games, and it's very understandable. I've been told that I have a grating voice. Thanks, mother. Anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through the maps and the modes that we are going to be seeing in tonight's broadcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting off map number 1 of this Division 1 Grand Finals. It'll be on a Skyline hardpoint. I've talked about this map a million times before, and every time I say the same thing. This map is intense. It is akin to that of your Bocage on Vanguard. It is just 100 miles an hour. You can hold from the front. Spawns aren't the most important. You're just trying to slay. You're trying to control the middle of the map so you can get those rotations down. And ultimately, it's a 40-50 bomb map if there ever was one. Really one where both of these teams need to start off on fire. And going into map number 2, we will be seeing a protocol search and destroy, where the pace is going to be brought right down in comparison to that Skyline hardpoint. The ARs are going to have so much control of this map and dictating the pace. They're going to be watching the lanes, keeping people pinned in. And as we go down that spiral, that is where you're going to see a lot of submachine gun players try to go to create an angle, to make a moment for themselves. And we'll see how many people maybe go towards that A-bomb site as well and play for that other ground, is that usually the favorite spot. And then moving on, folks, map number 2, the one that we've been seeing very commonly on Control now, once again rearing its ugly head. Vault Control. Again, I say ugly in the nicest of ways, folks. The way that this map plays, it's very similar in respawn to that of a hardpoint vault, all right? It's a very much an all-rounder map. Subs and ARs sort of have equally valuable presence on it, and if you're doing well as an all-rounder, you can be a formidable side. So that is maybe why these teams pick this map, because they know it's a safe one to pick, or at least some of them will be able to have a good game. And if we get this far, folks, we'll be moving on to a protocol once again, returning to this map, but this time on the respawn hardpoint, where what I very much said about the search and destroy rings true in terms of where you hold, in terms of the angles that you grab. But again, it's a pacing thing. It's going to be quicker. Subs are going to be running to that point more. But then again, the ARs are also going to have more of a presence to stop those subs from getting around the map. Map control very much comes from up top, and the who's going to be able to control that up top is going to have massive influence on how this map plays. And ladies and gentlemen, if we go all the way in this best of 5, we have the Hacienda Search and Destroy. Very much the wild card in this one. Again, new map, teams are learning to play it, beginning to get comfortable with it right now, but you can tell it's still played with a little bit of an edge of this map has only been in around a month or so, as opposed to when the game came out in, I believe it was late October time, if I actually remember correctly. So you can tell teams are a little bit more fresh in this, they're a little bit more frantic, they're trying new things, but ultimately people in this stage as well are only going to be doing what they know will work. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Those are your maps and the modes for this Division 1 Grand Finals game between Fluxx Esports and OTG's Billy is Funding. Should be an absolutely fantastic game, and I cannot wait to get into it. And do remember, folks, if Fluxx come through with the victory here, if they take this best of 5, we go to a bracket reset where we do more vetoes, we redo the best of 5, and then it's from there, whoever wins it takes it. Ladies and gentlemen, you aren't going to want to miss this one. We're going to be getting underway in just a few minutes now, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a second. So ladies and gentlemen, map number 1 is about to get underway in just a few moments. We are in the lobby, the players are joining. So it should only be, hopefully, a couple of minutes max before we're in map number 1, where, as you did see, we will be going on to a skyline hardpoint. And as I said in the introduction, a pretty intense map to begin with. And one, I have to say, I have seen Fluxx on a couple of times, and they seem pretty strong on. But now, I could be wrong on this. I actually might be mistaken. I believe this may have been the first map that they played against each other the last time they faced off as well. And I believe Billy is funding took it. I think that was one of the surprise maps. Could be completely making that up. I might be forgetting. I don't know. But it is a possibility. So, look, I think you're at that stage where neither one of these teams are going to want to be taking any risks, right? They're not going to be into this with their foot off the gas pedal. They know what's on the line. They know how far they've come to get to this stage. And we're going to see the best of every team. But I also do think as well, one thing that is to be considered with such an intensive map is it's the first map. It's always going to take you a little while to warm up to your opponents, understand the game in front of you, the obstacles ahead, and just get a feel for the vibe, so to speak, right? Worst way to put it, but that's the way we will say it. And it's also going to be a case of who adjusts to that the quickest, right? Because I've seen a map 1 hardpoint before against teams of very similar levels where it almost looked like one side was going to be a 100-point club until they locked in. I believe it wasn't a protocol hardpoint, and it swung right back around. And they didn't win it, but it ended up being a 30-point game, again at a point where they looked like they were going to be 100-point club. So it'll be really interesting to see which team is slower to get off the mark, and more importantly then, will they be able to rectify that? Will they be able to change it around, get in there, get mixy, and catch their opposition off guard? Maybe even catch them laxing at certain points where they might think they have a game done. Of course, slap in the head for any team who does that, because you're in the grand finals. Finish off your games in style. You've got a point to prove here. And ladies and gentlemen, as well, I will say, once again, thank you all very much for being in. And if you want to support COD Ireland and want to see more broadcasts in future, want to tune in for tournaments, want to tune in for Season 2 of the COD Ireland League, and also want to see broadcasts for when we bring you LANs throughout 2025, then please do consider giving us a follow here on the COD Ireland Twitch. And also, while you can, if you can, while you're at it, please do consider subscribing. The subscriptions help, and again, it just goes into a fund that is going to help fund, as I said, these tournaments, these LANs. And you know, believe me folks, I'm learning this space as we go, and one thing I'm sussing out very, very quickly is that LANs aren't cheap. I know, shocker, I thought I'd be able to do it for a tenner and a packet of Smarties, but here we are. If you want to support, if you can, it's really appreciated. And if you can't, absolutely no problem. We're still creating this content here for you to enjoy as a Call of Duty fan. When I say we, what you're seeing right now, or what you're going to be seeing, is the players, right? You're going to be seeing the players put on a show for you. I'm just here as the ignorant observer, so to speak. Ignorant in skill, not in anything else, before people start just thinking I'm an ignorant person. I could not play near the level of these guys. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are nearly ready to go. Everyone is in, so we will get transitioned back to the map mode screen while we make the final preparations. We'll be beginning in under a minute or two. Stay tuned for that. Folks, I wasn't lying when I said that we weren't going to be long, because without further ado, the grand finals begins right here and now, as map number 1 is about to get underway, loading into the skyline hardpoint, an intensive affair of a map. But who is going to come out on top? Will Fluxx Esports rectify the mistakes they made against Billy is funding during the playoffs before, or will this only the greatest roster continue to show us why they want to be crowned the Irish Division 1 champions? Best of luck to both of these teams as we get loaded in and prepped. Here we go. Going to start on board with Lampy on the side of Fluxx Esports. How will they attack this first point? On the early push, going straight up top. The stun coming in. I don't think it gets the hit. However, he's going to pick up the kill. It's actually Murphy that picks him up behind him, giving the helping hand, as Fluxx Esports have a terrific start here, getting on that point, get the kills through, and get the spawns, I believe. Or actually, they don't have the spawns for P2. I thought they had, but they didn't exactly get pushed through. It is DB as well on the point, who's just currently sitting raking up that early time. And You know, to get early time on P1 is very difficult, so it is a great start. However, Billy is funding. They took their time with the break and they made sure to get it broken, but now you're having a position where Billy is funding. They are actually worrying about the spawns. They're making sure to constantly rotate to the back before pushing forward, recognize the importance of this next hill. However, have given up a lot of time, and as you can see, Lampy going around now to the back in a situation that's 25-2. If Fluxx Esports now have the spawns, which they seemingly do, OTG have given up potentially a lot of early time, but I suppose we'll see how they hold from front. It's going to be Devin shooting up top, and it's Lampy who picks him up, and Lampy having a very strong start there. Big kills, but now it's just Ben W. Last alive in the back, quickly taken out. Billy and EH combining for a couple of kills, and as we said, Billy is funding, showing that they're able to hold from front, and they're disrupting Fluxx here, not letting them get a clean hold on what is a money hill, as you call. But Lampy with another 2, Murphy with 1, and Lampy seemingly just getting his kills in batches of 2 here. Terrific start from him as he continues to try and lock down this time. Fluxx want to rake it in. Maybe a little weird bit of miscommunication there where they gave a little bit of time up, but we're quickly back on the point. DB, I think he's just got horrific timing there as he's going to be taken out at 3-4 down from Billy is funding as they look to lock down this scrap and pull a bit of time back. Again, the last thing that teams want to give away in early stages, map number 1, is too much time. They want to make sure that even if they're not warm, they keep things scrappy and they keep things close until they start really feeling themselves. 8-3 now as well for Lampy, finding himself on a 2 streak, but taken out by Frofer on the hill. The checkerboard kill feed trades coming through, but it is EH who's going to get back on, but not for long. Again, Murphy, we've talked about him so much before this season. Very much your archetypal classic AR player. He anchors so well and can provide so much assistance just purely through damage and positional play. You don't really see too many players like that anymore. It's old school, to say the least. But Billy is funding now. They're on the point. Devin, slow start, 5-8. However, on the time, but again, not for long. No team letting each other get too much from either one of these points at any moment. 51-28. Murphy again anchoring for those spawns, as you can see, sitting right in the back here. Just making sure he can hold for as long as he can as DB and Ben W pick up a couple of big kills. And Fluxx have a lot of this map control now. They're going to be able to funnel OTG, completely aware where they're spawning. And as you see, Lampy, he's going to have eyes on this cross as well from the P1 area. He might get good timing, but he gets doubled. And Frofro now going to go for the push through the back. Here he's going to run into Murphy. I believe it was Murphy who took him out there. Maybe it was Ben W who actually picked that up. But again, you have this AR player just holding so well from the back as he's on a 3. And Ben W now on a killing spree of 5 as well. Fluxx, they have a read of these spawns here, and they're beginning to chain together these kills well as Ben W goes right out into the middle of the map to continue his spree on a 7, make that an 8. Going to try and get away from this nade, and he is just a kill or 2 away from a Hellstorm, which would be huge on such an open map like a Skyline Hardpoint. Fluxx beginning to feel themselves now. 108-28, 80 in the difference as they continue to lock down this point. Ben eventually taken out before he can get that Hellstorm. As DB's on the point, a player we haven't really talked too much about, but who's been absolutely popping off here. 12-6, not only getting those kills, but making sure to stay alive in the process. Fluxx Esports have started off terrifically here, exactly how they needed to. It is Billy is funding, who've been starting off slower. 90 points in the difference as we go back to P1, and OTG's roster, they need to start off quick here, or they need to start getting quicker, because they risk getting 100 point clubbed here if they can't pull it together quick. And that is just the issue that you run into with the Skyline Hardpoint. You can find a map get away from you very, very quickly. Lampy on the time, and a pretty decent spread of time as well between 2 of those players on Fluxx. If it's not one, it's the other. 1 on a minute 14. Lampy about to hit over a minute, it seems, as that point gap stretches over 100. Devin trying to get a breakthrough, but Fluxx have this completely on lock. Almost saying, yeah, sure, we don't even need to play for the spawns now. We're that far ahead. We're just going to play the whole time that's in front of us. If we need to, we'll win it off scrap. And that's a strategy that's been working well for them. Nearly a clean 60 on P1. I mean, when do you see that? Well, you see it in me when I'm playing ranked and I play up against lobbies, because I can't play P1 on this map to save my life. But regardless, Lampy managing to save his life there, staying alive to get in for the chal on this point, recognizing where people are going to be coming from and picking up the 1. And just going to hold. He's got on the spot as well. Very much as the Lampy show here. We're on him a lot, but he's just doing so much around the hill at this current moment in time. And Murphy again playing that anchor role, getting a little bit unfortunate timing there as he was going for the reload. But Lampy still continuing to pop off. Now in a 6 streak, 1 minute 30 and point, 180-43. The road to 250 getting closer and closer for Fluxx, as they have a long evening ahead of them to win this one, but starting off on the right foot here, map number 1 nearly in the bag. Just got to keep this up, but a 3 down from Bilious Funding may make things difficult on this point. Lampy just playing off the point. He baited in so well. He eventually gets taken out, but he did get the Hellstorm from that. And 21-11 as well, nearly 2 minutes in Hill. He has been phenomenal. As Murphy now rotated onto P3. What can he do with that AR? Decides to chow with the pistol. Picks up the kill. And EH eventually getting taken out, who actually found himself on a bit of a streak. But now Devon picking up a lovely 2-piece there to try and get in on this point. 150 points in the difference, but Bilious Funding trying to get some of that time back. Again, it might be a case of now recognizing that the map is gone, but they need to start getting some momentum behind them, under their belts, should I say. They need to start finding a bit of rhythm here to take into the rest of the maps, because if Fluxx Esports continue to shut them down, then OTG are going to be in huge trouble for the remainder. That's a massive 2 from Ben. Honestly, every single player on Fluxx has been frying this game, taking their turns. The turning and burning. 203 to 84. Bilious Funding looking, I was about to say looking relatively secure in the scrap, but Fluxx Esports get in with the break. Got to hold that scrap, and DB on Mew and the spawns as well. Fluxx have just held the spawns for nearly every hill immaculately. 216 to 86. There has just been no spawn pressure from Bilious Funding, and on a map that doesn't really favor spawn still, it really is just a nail in the coffin as Lampy calls in his streak, taking out 1 but also taking Murphy with him in the process. But Fluxx won't mind about that. Just 20 points away now for coming away with this victory in 100-point clubbing. Bilious Funding, the winners of the winners final. And this is a statement game without a shadow of a doubt. Putting down a marker here as Murphy picks up 1. Bilious Funding going to have to rush in now, and they do big kills with 3 coming in from Fro, who's not had the best game whatsoever, but picking up with 3 may be the catalyst to better things to come. Rotating around for spawns for P2. But Fluxx actually may be able to win it off the scrap here. It looks like they will, and ladies and gentlemen, Fluxx Esports come away with map number 1. 250 to 99. 100-point clubbing. The winner's final side on map number 1. And making a statement here that both of these teams could potentially be in for a heck of a long night. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Map number 1 going the way of Fluxx Esports, who take that one and just about 100-point club their opposition. A phenomenal performance from them. They'll be really happy with that one and will be looking to continue in this vein, I'm sure. However, they'll need to take plenty of more maps, whereas OTG, as soon as they get warm, all they need is that all they need is the 3 maps and 1 best of 5, and they will be crowned the COD Ireland Division 1 champions. But Fluxx clearly showing they're not going without a fight. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We are going to get ourselves prepped for map number 2 that we will bring you as quickly as possible. Don't go anywhere. and gentlemen, we have actually gotten ourselves underway for map number 2, where it actually is a skyline here, which was something I was not aware of. Perhaps a miscommunication, but regardless, actually the game 2 we have up there. Apologies. Let's get that transition. Holy moly, but we're here, and that round going quick. Abilious Funding getting the defuse. Nice round number 1 from them, picking that one up. Absolutely needing to do so. Abilious Funding picking up a nice first round. And folks, it was in fact a miscommunication, as I'm just seeing here. It is in fact. It was put protocol, but then was subsequently changed to Skyline. So, not entirely my fault, folks. Please don't yell at me. I did say a protocol, but it is in fact a Skyline. My sincere apologies. But onwards we go to round number 2. On board with Lampy here, who's got in the spot through the middle. Could pick up a nice 2. He slides around the side, but Fro's there to get the trade. 3v3. Billy picking up another as well. 2v3 scenario now. DB getting 1. 2v2. DB, he's in trouble. He's only got the pistol out. Can he get away with his life? He just about ducking and diving, weaving his way through, and picking up the kills, Fluxx, to get a massive round for them. My word, big round indeed. We'll actually make sure we can get that changed really quickly on the graphic to show that it is a Skyline, as not to confuse anyone else. I'm sure I've confused you enough already. My humblest of apologies, folks, but got that graphic fixed now for when we go back. And on our way to round number 3 here. Massive thank you as well to Krispy Kreme for the follow as well. Funky Wall Fuzz, seeing you all coming in with the follows. Appreciate the support you're showing here for these teams and us at COD Ireland. DB on with the push. Gonna run into no man's land, but he pops off with 2, making it 3, taking out his teammate while he's at it. Sure. Addicted to the 3 pieces. Had to do the job. What's the timing going to be like here? He gets the stun hit as well, surely. So Fluxx should have a little bit of information to work with here as they go for the bomb plant. 3v2. Devin and EH need to work their magic. EH pushing up top. Billy's Funding looking like they're going to push together here, as Devin's going to pick up 1. And Ben W trying to do the damage to Devin here, but he plays his life. Recognizing the value of that in this situation, as there's still a bit of time to defend. EH doesn't check the back as Ben W picks that one up, and all of a sudden it's Devin. Going to be caught on both sides here. Doesn't know who to shoot at first, but it won't matter. Fluxx taking another round here, going 2-1 up. And so far so good for them. And Fox Cohen coming in as well with the Who Won Division 2. Can I be completely honest with you here at this? I have no idea as of yet who won Division 2. It's looking very likely that Division 2 is going to have to go through a forfeit, where it's most likely going to be KP Minions. A horrid end. But of course, as I'm sure you're aware, folks, a lot of people who compete in these divisions, especially in the lower divisions, have lives outside of Call of Duty, and something of an emergency has popped up for one of the teams to where they cannot play the game within a reasonably allocated time. It's a true shame, but we also understand as well is that we're not watching throughout all the divs anyway, the absolute pinnacle players who can dedicate 100% of their time and life outside. So unfortunate for that, and as Shasty coming in there, KP due to a forfeit by LA Robbers unless they agree to reschedule, but it's very unlikely that that is going to come to fruition. Both of those teams getting a little bit of prize money as Division 2 is owed anyway, and we appreciate them for coming in and taking part in the league as well. It's an unfortunate end for Division 2 from a broadcast perspective. But we have Division 1 here that's continuing to heat up. And Murphy gonna hop up top. Trying to take out 1, but it doesn't happen. As Billy is Funding take a map, or a round, should I say, apologies, back for themselves. Keeping themselves in this one. and showcasing a tit-for-tat affair, if you will. Neither team allowing the other to get too far ahead, but Fluxx always making sure it's getting that round where it can, but can they continue to do so? As Grace coming in with the follow as well. Appreciate you, Grace. Hope you're enjoying what you're seeing here. And folks, we're nearly at 650 followers, which, considering when we started the playoffs, we were around, I believe, 500. The support that you've all shown throughout these playoff broadcasts has just been spectacular, so thank you all so much. I think thanks is the common theme of the evening, folks. I feel like it's going to lose value if I end up saying it too much, but thank you. I mean it. As now a 4v3 situation. DB sitting with the bomb. Fluxx have the advantage, but they still need to get into a site. And Billy gonna go for the peak, but Lampy ripping him. And that bomb is gonna go down. Now a 3v2 scenario though. Lampy picking up another who's had a terrific round. And you also have to give a lot of credit as well to DB. 5 and 2, but with 3 bomb plants as well. Playing the objective so well, leaving Devon now the last alive. He's going to go into spawn, but the shots aren't quite there. And Fluxx Esports take another round, once again going 1 round up. And they play that offense with a bit of style. They get set up very well. It's whether or not they can hold on to these defensive rounds. That'll be key. And what team's going to be able to learn first? Will OTG be able to pull it around? Begin to understand what Fluxx are doing, counteract it, and potentially take an offensive, or should I say defensive? Yes, defensive round. My God, Zep. Screw your head on right today. Devon with the early peak. Picking up 1, ripping Murphy. AR versus AR, and this time it's Devon that wins. But still, want to make sure they come away with this round. Devon going for the peaks. He's got the spot. Not going to be able to pick up the kill, though. He backs out. Billy managing to take out Lampy, and next thing you know, it's a 2v4. DB and Ben W going to have to deal with the oncoming push. Ben W and DB looking like they're going to go underground. I say looking like it. They are. There's no question about it. Bomb going down A. Going for this flank. Getting tapped in the back by Devon where the trade comes in. Devon pistol whipping there almost. As Billy is funding, once again tie it up. And these offensive rounds, something very much in common between Skyline and Vault is that it's very offensive favoring, which you don't normally see as much in Call of Duty titles, but Black Ops 6 very much seems to be the way with this one. Continuing on, round number 7. Less and less room for mistakes now between both of these teams. Murphy now going for the same peak as Devon. Will Devon chal him again? Doesn't look like it. Devon playing towards A. A little bit slower from Fluxx here, but they are sneaking to get this bomb down. And it'll be a 4v4 now with Billy is funding, having about just under 40 seconds to get this defuse. So they'll need to up the pace. Ben W, huge first blood. Throw though, answering back. Billy with 1. Now 2v3. Fluxx's toughest challenge yet. As DB picks up 1 for a 2v2. Can he get away with his life? EH and Billy now playing. Well, Billy playing around the bomb site. EH lurking. Takes out Murphy. Now with 20 seconds left. It's a 1v2. DB, he's got the spot. But he goes for the peak. And he goes for the chal. And I have to say, question marks there over that push. Having the information on the player there and seeing that he's gone to a heady to make a chal at that stage rather than wrapping back and just making sure you get an angle on the bomb maybe from kitchen side or even just letting him sit there without baiting your position. I think either way I think he just fell right in the middle of an unfavorable situation there where no decision was going to be the good decision. But Billy is funding now, getting a pivotal round to go ahead, I believe, for the first time. And to take a Skyline from Fluxx Esports would be absolutely massive for them. Only 2 rounds to go until they would get that, so they smell blood. DB going on the aggressive here with Lampy. But Billy is Funding have backed out, and they are playing very cautious. If Fluxx Esports are overzealous, they will get ripped by those ARs. But Billy is Funding have done a great job here, and a very quick reset now over to B, where they may catch Murphy off guard. Fro with the first blood as well. Lampy with the trade. Murphy sliding right to the back here. Wants to see if he can catch the head of anyone. But Devon is in a position that may catch a lot of players out now, but Lampy hot in his tails. How's this one going to go? Neither of them have spotted each other yet. Devon spots him now, but he was spotted first. Now to 2v1. Billy the last alive. Murphy picked up the 2. And Fluxx Esports going to get in with the defuse there, and that was a massive round for them. A round that Billy is Funding looked like they were going to get locked up, but unfortunate timing meant Devon didn't get the spot, and we didn't have the Murphy POV, but he somehow, through the back spawns, locked in, picked up a crucial 2-piece to secure Fluxx the round and tie this one up once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on map number 2 of the grand finals of Division 1 of the COD Ireland League with Fluxx Esports and Billy is Funding. Fluxx Esports coming from the loser side, needing the bracket reset, but so far having won map number 1. But this map 2 going right down to the wire. Round 9. Lampy with the pre-aim. Again, the approaches on the offense are getting more and more tentative, it seems. And both teams are recognizing the pressure of the scenario at hand. Lampy just waiting. Again, it's a case of Fluxx. They're just waiting. Who's going to make the first move? OTG strike me as a roster who are not going to be overzealous to make that first mistake. It's going to have to be Fluxx that forces the hand here. As Murphy's taking some pop shots with that AR. To no avail. Do they go to a bomb site? They have pushed up to A, but do they go for the plant? They do. Billy is Funding. Devon getting taken out by Ben W there, and I was about to say OTG seem very happy to let Fluxx plant and go for the retake, but now having to retake a 4v3, make that 4v2 as Lampy picks up one. Good to go for the second as well. He put bullets at both. He just takes them all out. Fluxx Esports, 1 round away from going 2-0 up in this series as Lampy picks up the 3-piece. Ducking and diving. He picks up the 2 round the fireplace. And a huge round from him. Will that send Fluxx over the line? Or can Billy is Funding take us to a round 11? Here we go. Round number 10. We'll start on board with Lampy, who's on that 5 streak, and he's going to deploy the RCXD straight away. Can he pick up something with this? Shots coming in. They recognize the danger of this. The nades coming in as well. He's baiting out a lot of tacticals even with this RCXD, which could be huge. And he's just going to hold. It eventually gets taken out, but I swear almost every Semtex going out in the process. And that could be huge, especially when you're defending a site and you're trying to bait people off head glitches. Wasted all in one thing. However, Billy's gotten the spot on Lampy, who gets away with his life. No bomb down yet. Still going towards his A. It's a 3v3 at A with Ben on the wide. We've seen him play that position so well in the hard point, but he gets taken out by EH. And that is a crucial first blood. Billy is Funding, going to get moved up onto the site now, get that plant. Will Lampy get some good timing underneath? He'll get some good timing up top. He's going to pick up the kill. 3v3. Still on board with Lampy here. 2v3 now. Fro at 1. Lampy gets taken out from Fro, who just lays right on the bomb. Even I didn't see him, and I have the X-ray. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, we are going to our round 11. And honestly, I have to say, Fro lying on the bomb, as you see here, folks, I have the X-ray, and I didn't even see him on the bomb until the shots were fired. That was how great that spot was. Or maybe it's how terrible my eyesight is. I think the running theme of the playoffs has been, we need to get a Specsavers sponsorship. Honestly, I will pitch that right now. Specsavers need to get into the gaming range. I'll do all the promotional material. Specsavers sponsors for COD Ireland. Get that trending, folks. At least I get a discount on my new glasses then. It's Billy holding this left. It's Billy is Funding with the other offensive round. The offensive round's been going well for them so far. But the first blood coming in for DB. Trying to rotate out with his life, but he hits picking him up. Then Ben with 1, 2v3. This is getting overzealous, over-aggressive. And now it's just a 2v1. Billy, he's in trouble. Can he get out with his life? He's pushing. He gets out. But that bomb is down at A. Ben W and Lampy. An AR and a sub versus an AR. Billy has so much work to do from this point. And Lampy on the chase picks up the kill. And just like that, Fluxx Esports go 2-0 up. And are just one map away from bringing us to a bracket reset. Ladies and gentlemen, as we see here, a shock skyline. For those of you just joining in, I was under the belief that we were going into a protocol. But a shock skyline as Fluxx take a round 11 and prove themselves to be the king of this map and are potentially on their way to a redemption arc against Billy is Funding, who actually knocked them down into the losers bracket throughout the playoffs, where Fluxx had to go the long way around, whereas Billy is Funding just had to face up against Fluxx Esports, where they done a great job against them, sending them down to face Fluxx, and Fluxx ultimately beat Faceless. So all these teams have gone against each other now. OTG have proven themselves to be the team that is the most victorious, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened before. All that matters is what happens now, as this is it. The Season 1, Division 1 Grand Finals. So Fluxx, they're on their way to getting the redemption and being able to call themselves the best team in Ireland. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to be getting ourselves loaded in to map number 3 as quickly as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go, getting ready to get underway in a pivotal map number 3 here, Vault Control. Our Fluxx Esports going to take Series 1 3-0 and bring about the bracket reset. Or OTG's Billy is Funding going to engineer the reverse sweep to make themselves the COD Ireland Division 1 champions. Let us know who you think is going to come up on top in the chat. And best of luck to both of them as we get ourselves underway right here, right now. We'll start on board with Frofro. As it is OTG on the offense. What's the play? Up top, Murphy with the double nade. And that's what you want as the perfect start. But Murphy getting taken out by Nade himself. As ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are here for the first time, this is actually the first time I believe we're seeing it on broadcast tonight. with the COD caster bug. As you can see in the right, Lampy is 68. I don't believe I have a 68 key on my keyboard. But that essentially means on your kill feed, if you see DB getting a kill, it was Murphy. If you see it was Murphy, it was Ben W. If you see it was nobody, it was Lampy, and so on and so forth. It really breaks the COD caster, and you know, I'm so thankful Activision are really on top of fixing these things, even though it's been a bug since day one. But Fro getting pushed out of A, and these teams deciding, for some reason, to end the game. I imagine there must have been some sort of technical issue. Of course, we will get on top of that as quick as we can. Actually, they just let me know what happened. One of their players got scan and repair. The lovely thing that every single COD player loves to see. And of course, as I was just talking about bugs, it is very apt that a player crashes out in map number 3. But not to worry, ladies and gentlemen, that won't delay us too long. These teams are eager to get themselves going, so we won't take too long to get everyone back into this lobby and ready to go for map number 3. Don't go anywhere. So ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are nearly ready to get this map number 3 back underway once again. Gara says, yes, you can clean the pool in Skyline if you want. Yes, we get a pool boy for Skyline in the COD Ireland League. He's the COD Ireland pool boy, folks. You heard it here first. We'll get that unique role made for the Gara show. We'll make a new division. As ladies and gentlemen, map number 3 about to get underway, I believe. Now, you think I would know this considering I made the rules, but I do have a head like a sieve. I believe that the teams have just decided in this one, at least, to completely restart rather than doing any sort of round forfeits based on the issue, considering it was early enough. I believe the rule is on first tick, which I think the first tick had just come in, but it was so contentious. These teams know each other. There's a level of respect there. I doubt anyone will really kick up that much of a fuss. But you know what I'll kick up a fuss about? A player getting kicked. Once again, as you see here, as soon as we're getting ready to load in, a player got another scan and repair. Ladies and gentlemen, the game had an update a few days ago. And for the first half an hour of that update, the game was so broken people couldn't search in private lobbies. So just have a guess of what it even did. Or in public lobby, should I say. So have a guess what it did to private lobbies. But not to worry, I believe we're going to be able to get back into this again even more rapid because everyone is now here. I don't think we should have too much of an issue. We actually got to just go straight back in to the private lobby rather than having to completely reset. Because folks, also, I don't know if you know that for the most part, for the last month, or for the last 2 weeks, sorry, you have to restart your game after every match in private lobbies because the game crashes after every match. Another terrific shining testament to the well-polished, not turd, that is Black Ops 6 private lobbies. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe we're ready to go. Fingers goddamn crossed. Pray for us, folks. I need your prayers. Thou call God that are in heaven, I will be locked in. I will be done, yada yada yada. Folks, you can tell that I am at my wit's end with Codcaster, and we're only just through season 1. We have a long year, and I wonder if they'll ever fix it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there actually was a bug in Vanguard. I don't know if anyone actually remembers anyone who was in the scene at the time, where Team 1 and Team 2 swapped around when you'd load into a game. Talk about a logistical nightmare for anyone trying to organize a league or a tournament such as this. But ladies and gents, I'm touching wood. We are loading into map number 3 for the 3rd time. And you know what they say about that 3rd time being a charm and all. So wish us luck as we load in. Fluxx Esports versus Billy is Funding. Fluxx looking to get that bracket reset. Billy is Funding looking for the reverse sweep. Who is going to come out on top? Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to start on board with Fro. As he pushes up top, Murphy will be ripping at that double nade. Isn't going to count for anything as Billy now picks him up this time. EH and Devon wiping Fluxx off the board, but Lampy managing to stay alive here in a kind of crucial position. He is weak, but he does manage to get flanked around as well, and Lampy playing that one really well. Also trying to get to B to help out his teammate, yes, it is Lampy. It was DB, so you can see how the issues seem to come up on the Codcaster. It was DB that got taken out by the car explosion. As Murphy, or no, it would have been Ben W picking up too. Great, I'm going to be doing this all game again. Love that. But Ben W on the point, getting it clear. Just trying to keep this hole, try and keep these ticks down. Again, folks, something to consider in regards to how control works. If those of you who aren't too sure, it is 1st to 3. Usually you will come up on top on your defensive rounds, and whether or not you get defense for your last round is determined by how many ticks you got on the offense in the previous round. So if you see us referencing ticks quite a lot and you're not too sure, that is how it rolls. So 16 versus 20 now. Billy is Funding, struggling to even get a tick on the board at A or B. Fluxx Esports with an immaculate defense, trying to get pushed out here. Both teams have sacrificed a lot of lives, but it is Fluxx now who are beginning to pop off a little bit more as Billy picks up 1. But Billy is Funding need to get a couple of waves here. 11 v 18, 10 seconds left. This is the last push. Have we just seen the perfect defense here from Fluxx? 5 seconds and counting. Last chance. Last ditch attempt at A. They're on. But the kills are coming in. It's a checkerboarded kill feed that Fluxx Esports come out on top of. And they take a defensive round 1 with 0 ticks on the board. 4 OTG's Billy is Funding. And Shiasi saying, I reckon if Fluxx, when we do a complete reset of the playoffs, get fresh milk back in. Yep. Yeah, I'm sure everyone would love that. I'm sure everyone would absolutely love that. How about we'll make sure it's a double or nothing. Fresh milk can come in for the double or nothing game where they play the winner of this one. But of course, they can put the money up because I don't have any. But ladies and gentlemen, round number 2. Fluxx winning the defense. If they take an offense, it's looking very likely that the bracket resets on its way. EH with the knife out. Gonna get pushed up. Hit with the stun. Gonna leave a bruise in the cheek, that one. It's Fro picking up a nice 2. Fro picking up the 3rd. How about we go to your POV, Fro, as you're just dancing around your opposition here. 30 v 26. No one has dropped yet in the side of Billy is Funding, as it's so far been defensive masterclasses all around as they eventually drop a life. But EH now popping off. What am I seeing? These defenses for both sides. Just playing some immaculate Call of Duty here. As Fro and EH combined for some, and Devon and Billy just go home. Read a book. You ain't needed in this round. Although in saying that, you may now be needed as Fluxx are after picking up 3 and are going to be able to converge towards a point quick. And remember, so much as 1 tick puts Billy is Funding at a massive disadvantage. So make no mistake, they need to play this defense perfectly as well to sort of put them back in an even playing field going into the remainder of these rounds. But Fluxx, they're sat on this point. They're surely going to get at least 1 tick from this, but not if Devin has anything to say about it. Although he does get taken out. Killing spree of 5 coming in now for Lampy before he was taken out. And Fluxx do indeed have a tick a day. 1 tick ahead. 1 tick is all it takes. Ben W pushing up now and make that 2 ticks. They've picked up great wave of kills here. 16 v 15. They're still down on lives, but they're going to get the A point captured. Or are they? They are. And they're going to have time to move up now on this B as Ben W running around 100 miles an hour. Doesn't even know who to look at first, but absolutely beaming that first kid. Now 15 versus 13. The live still not in their favor, but 3 ticks down, 3 ticks better than OTG. Devin with the nade. Devin, who has not had the best start to this game, not had the best series. But regardless, we'll have some time to rectify that. Just would hopefully be going for the sooner rather than later approaches. Lampy now 15 and 8. A terrific game from him. Moving his way around the back into spawn. Trying to put the nail in the coffin here. Potentially on the offense. A long way to go and they are down on lives. But if he can pick up a key position, then Billy's Funding are in trouble. Lampy picks up 1 from this spot. He's going to sit for the hold. No one around him just yet. It'll be Fro in the middle of the map now. EH on a killing spree of 5 as well, as it really has been EH and Fro just dictating this round for the side of Billy is Funding. As now a 9v3, surely about to be a 9v2, but no, Fluxx picking up those kills. Now an 8v3, but only 10 seconds left to get to this point. A very difficult push. DB gonna go for the push. A terrific bait and switch. A mistake from Fro, a team nade. All of a sudden, 5v2. I've seen crazier things. Devin needs to pick up this kill. And he does. He picks up the 2. The trades in. Lampy the last on point. 4v1 though. And the nades absolutely rip him off the point. That got a little worrying there for Billy is Funding. That was a little scary. When I saw that team nade come in, I got a little bit of a shiver down my spine. But Fluxx doing enough. Or Billy's Funding, should I say, doing enough. They locked in. But they are 3 ticks down. They done a good job not letting another tick go at B, because they looked in trouble for a sec after that A tick was gone. But they locked in, regained. They're only down 3 ticks. A good offensive round from them, a good defensive round from them, could mean that they still get that all-important defensive side. But round number 3 now, on board with EH. Absolutely popping off in the last round, looking to continue that momentum, but it is Lampy who picks up the first blood. EH with the push in as well, getting 1, and that's a 3 down for Billy is Funding. As EH, he's just dominating here. He's catching everyone off guard. He's a bit stunned here, but sticking onto the point, recognizing they need those ticks is already with 2 here, Billy is Funding. But Murphy, gonna go huger. It isn't actually Murphy, it is Ben W, but I'm sorry, how in God's name have I missed this on the KD? Murphy, the archetypal AR warrior, only 4 and 14. Again, folks, the codcaster lies on the top right. On a lot of these molds, it does break. So it's the bottom right that is accurate. EH is 20 and 11, not 16 and 10. Devin, 7 and 18, so on and so forth. But Murphy having a 3 and 13 stuck on that board is surely going to be just a little bit scarring to the soul here. Having just picked up a PC this week, someone needs to tell him to turn it off 30 frames per second. Big kills coming in, mostly for the side of Billy is Funding, but Murphy in a key position now. And this is where Murphy can dominate. Looking over a B site where he's able to hold these lines. To just be able to hold the length, that's what he is good at. So now maybe we're going to be able to play a little more to his strengths, however, taken out straight away. Just some horrific timing there. And Devin getting round the back as well. He's going to get great timing up top on Ben W. And now ahead on lives, in key positions, they're getting ready to do a lot of damage here at B. As we go on board. with Ben W, who's just instantly taken out. And you do have Lampy, who's underneath, who's going to try and chal up top. The timings are going to work out in his favor. He picks that one up. And Lampy now on the push. Going to get another. Is he going to get the third? He is. Tick number 4 went to B. But Lampy ripping 3 with the pistol at the end. 26 and 13, by the way, for Lampy. A GOAT tier performance here when his team needs him most. As Lampy on the right recognizes where someone is. And he picks up the kill. 27 and 13 now. And Lampy moving back in again. Moving with his teammate now. It's the Lampy show, really. It's Lampy's world, folks. We're all just living in it. 6v8. Lampy! This kid is frying. 29 and 13. And OTG now out of respawns. 4 ticks deep. It's looking like that's all they'll get. Eventually picking up that kill. And now 4v6. They have a chance, Billy is funding. They just have to go huge. They can't drop lives. They need to get in, contest that point, and stack it together. Throw at 1. That was a big kill. Checking the up top now. Billy picks that one up. 3v4. They're capping this point. 3v3. Oh, but that flank's huge. And once again, it's Lampy of all players who's going to slide out. He doesn't check the right corner now. 2v2. Make that 1v2. It's Devin. Devin against Ben W and Murphy. 5 ticks gone at B. He has to slide to the point. He gets taken out. But ladies and gentlemen, that round went right down to the wire once again. And really, with a player performing like Lampy is, you wonder how. But I suppose then again, maybe being made up for from a lackluster performance from Murphy. And again, no shade, no shots fired, but maybe the performances just balancing each other out here. As OTG take the round, or actually, apologies, it's Fluxx take the round, but Billy is funding got 5 ticks there. So currently standing at 5 ticks to 3. Meaning that a Fluxx, I believe on the kills, can just get 2 ticks and stay higher in the kills. They will get the defensive round next round. So Billy is funding need to play this perfect. They haven't seen each other here. Devin eventually does, and they get the first blood. Billy and Devin combining for a couple. A terrific couple, might I add. Long walks on the beach type of couple. Billy down with the stun. Runs into the trophy. Murphy and Lampy picking up kills. Murphy with another. Now they're getting onto this A point. Again, folks, as I said, only 2 ticks really needed. They're pre-aiming now, holding all the right angles. 1 tick left to go to guarantee them the defensive round. As Billy is funding come in for the clear up, but it's a checkerboard, a kill feed again. They need to get this A point cleared. They're not coming up on top here. Billy needs to stay alive. And he does. He's in huge trouble, though, somehow getting that kill. But now 2-piece. EH 1, though. It's frantic on this A point. As EH trying to get pushed out. Has the assistance of Fro. Picks up 1. Gets back in with his life. And picks up 2. Ben W with 1, excuse me. EH, though, with 1. The kill feed going huge on both sides. But Billy is funding, hanging on. But a huge 2 now from Fluxx. Lampy with 1 as well. They're going to get pushed onto these points. Fro with the 2. Now onto the A point. They can't let this tick go through. Fro with 1. They're on the clear. Fro needs to stay alive, and he does. He gets taken out from top. Once again, it's hectic. But Devin picks up 2. And Devin, he gets taken out. Lampy on the point. Or DB. He gets taken out. And folks, Billy is funding. Take round number 4. They even it up 2-2. And I believe that now Billy is funding, if I've done my math correctly, which, you know, is in itself very, very iffy. But if I've done my math correctly, Billy is funding has rescued a defensive round. Meaning that they may just rescue this map and have gotten themselves back into this series right at the death. We are about to see, yes, most segments captured. Billy is funding will be on the defense. How did they earn that? I don't know. But Fluxx couldn't get that all-important second tick. And now it's up to Fluxx to try and win the offensive. On board with EH once again. 31 and 20. Top tier performance. Billy's been 19 and 25. And he's also the last alive currently on the side of Billy's funding, as Fluxx have a good attack. Murphy, 10 and 26. Devin, 19 and 29. Neither having the best performances, but you have Lampy, 35 and 22. Terrific performance from him so far as they look to continue to pop off. And then Ben on the 30. Murphy trying to pull up the score. If I am correct, he only may have picked up 1 kill the entirety of last round, if I've done my math correct, which may only be like slightly sickening. But Murphy with the 2, with the 3. All right, Murphy. Make that 15 and 26. And the capture on a point. 2 minutes 10 left to work with now as they make their way over towards B. And this has been huge on the offense by them. Murphy pulling it together when he needs to the most. Was actually not too far off a hellstorm there just before he got taken out. And trying to make up for lost time a little bit with those numbers. Going on a nice run. Perhaps a redemption arc in this map. As now they are picking up the kills. They're on the point. They nearly have the triple stack in. 12 to 19. They're slaying out in the lives. They had to win the offensive round, and ladies and gentlemen, they might be doing it. 11 v 18, Lampy on the killing spree, and ladies and gentlemen, just like that, we're going to be going to a bracket reset. As Fluxx Esports, from the losers bracket, come up to the grand finals to get their revenge against Billy is Funding the first time around. Taking the map 3-2 and taking the series 3-0. And a bracket reset is on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, who'da thunk it? Who saw that one coming? One of the best vault controls we've seen in a long time. Twists and turns galore. And it has to be said, we have another amazing best of 5 bracket ahead of us. That is for sure. Fluxx Esports locking in when they needed to the most. But now both of these sides going to have to do it all again. Now on an even playing field. The first to 3 maps from here will be crowned the COD Ireland Division 1 champion. Folks, you're not going to want to miss this. And I know it sounds like I'm passing off to leave, but I'm not going to leave you on a break just quite yet, folks. I want to just talk a little bit about that. That was absolutely amazing. Over 80 of you tuned in to check that out, and what a fantastic game it was, folks. I do hope you've enjoyed what we have so far, and knowing that that was the first series, we got another series now underway. OTG, they could have wrapped it up. It could have been done by now. They could have taken those first 3 maps and they could have been crowned the champions, and it could have been all there for them. But needing to go the long way around, same way as Fluxx had to go the long way around, and Fluxx are showing fight. They're showing spirit. They're playing their best roster. That is for sure. But now they need to keep it up, as I'm sure the maps as well will change a little bit based off what we've seen, as OTG are going to do anything to try and buy themselves just a little bit of an edge. Maybe not going to see a skyline come back in. I literally have it in front of me right here, folks. They're doing their vetoes, and I'm not going to tell you what they're doing because I want you to be surprised. I want you to see it when it comes on your screen, as I will actually start getting them updated live here right in front of you. Because why not? I'll stay here, chat to you guys. That's if you want to chat to me, that is. I mean, if you don't, I mean, that's fine. I won't cry. But okay, one of the maps are gone. That map's gone. Okie dokie. We know what our map number 1 is, folks. We have our map 1. The map number 1 has been inputted on our graphics. Let's hope I can actually input them in right this time. And folks, as I said, I do hope you're enjoying. Thank you very much for all being in the chat as well. speaking amongst yourselves, talking about how much you're enjoying the game as well. Again, the support has just been amazing. The support has been absolutely amazing this season. It's been really, like, I'm blessed. I really am blessed having been able to put this together, and having such a terrific admin team help put this together as well. So massive shout out to all of you. And I see map number 4 has been picked. And that is an interesting map number 4, to say the least. You guys are going to be very interested to see that one, folks. That is for sure. Okay. Okay, they're coming through. They're doing this nice and quick. Thank the Lord. One thing I will give a massive credit to both of these teams for is that they have been very aware throughout the season of our needs for putting broadcasts together. Certain teams get a little iffy. They want things done a certain way. It'll make their life easier to do blah, 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 blah. But these teams have often gone out of their way to make our lives easier. And Tom Walton with the first time chat. Caster looks like Chicken Man from Toy Story 2. I'm Googling this right now. I actually haven't watched Toy Story 2 because I never liked it as a kid. Am I? Oh my God. No. I can't believe you'd say that. I can't believe that you would say that. First off, my hairline is not that bad, but that is, oh. You know, I didn't think I could be cut any deeper, but I have been cut deep. Tom Walsh 99. COD Ireland better get a follow for that, because that is an absolute violation, ladies and gentlemen. I need to show this to you right now. So apparently, I will get this up. We'll do this. Yes, open image and new tab. This is how we're going to do this, all right? I'm shocked and appalled. Shocked and appalled. Where is it? Where are we? Let me get this set up for you as quickly as we can. Because I need you to see this. I need you to understand this. No, wrong monitor. Which one are we? We're that one. Okay. Nope, I just messed it up. That's great. Well done, me. What did I do? I just have completely broken it, which is nice. Good for me. I'm getting this up on the screen. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if the players are waiting. This is happening. All right. Where is it? There. It just, for some reason now, it's just refusing to show up on screen. So it's making my life a living hell. Thank you very much, OBS. We appreciate you. All right. We'll do it this way. This way might make more sense. Does it want to work? Apparently not. Oh, it does. There we are. There I am. What do you think, folks? Do you see the resemblance? I don't know. I think this is a little unwarranted. But here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the COD Ireland broadcast. It's an absolute honor, folks. It's been a real terrific honor to bring you these games, and you know, I've often been saying throughout this broadcast the love and support that you guys have been showing here. So it's really appreciated. Really appreciated. Thank you all very much. I am on my way to Turkey for a hair transplant immediately. My word. But folks, I'm going to get back to actually getting this graphic together. These teams are waiting to go while I was indulging my own self-hatred there, I suppose. And I'm actually just seeing it because I've been a minute delayed. My God, please don't roast me for the amount of tabs I've opened, folks. Monitoring all this stuff is just easier for me to have all these tabs open. Let me go through. So we have that map picked. So okay, we've got the maps. We have the maps. Where are we? Need to make sure to get this map inputted. Okay. And then take that off the screen. No, where is it? There it is. You guys can't see what I'm talking about. I apologize, but I'm just trying to make sure We haven't done a bracket reset before, so it's changing everything on the fly. But folks, we'll get this one underway in literally just a second, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment to get underway with the second of the bracket reset, the second series. It's the same. You get what I mean. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 1 for your game this evening. That is right, we're getting back into it. The bracket reset will begin with a vault hardpoint. So we're actually seeing some surprisingly similar maps come up, but in an order that you may be not expecting. A vault hardpoint, making sure to get rid of the search and, or should I say, the skyline hardpoint for a little bit of a change up. But folks, we're going to fly through because these teams are eager to get going. And after that, we will be moving on to the protocol search destroy, which we have seen before and we'll see again, or actually didn't see before. I thought it's what we'd see, but we are going to see it now, which will be a whole lot of fun. Map number 3, we are sticking with the vault control, neck and neck between both of those teams, so I am sure they'll be both feeling like they can come back and do a job there again. Map number 4, we will be back on skyline for the hardpoint, which will be a very interesting one to watch if we do go that far. And then last but not least, map number 5, it'll be going to skyline again. So skyline back in twice. Risky movements from both of these teams, especially Billy is funding, letting skyline get back in twice. And ladies and gentlemen, those are the maps and modes. OTG feeling like they can get revenge on the skylines if it goes that far, but they'll be hoping it doesn't go that far, as they'll be looking to secure the Swift 3-0 here on a vault protocol and vault. Don't go anywhere, because map number 1 is about to begin in just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Map number 1 about to get underway between these sides. Massive moment here. The COD Ireland Grand Finals. We got the bracket reset. So we'll see how these teams fare against each other. Best of luck to them both. As here we go on the hard point. Going to start off with Ben W. Let's see what the push is like to begin with. Trying to go low, struggling a little bit with the movement there, which is that going to mess up his timings? He seems to get round. As Billy is funding, picking up the initial time. Ben W at 1 though, coming in with 2. The flank, working a treat. As now EH around the back for spawns of P2, who's able to pick up 1, but Murphy picking up 2. And EH picking up a couple of kills as well. Fluxx now on the time. Billy is funding, trying to hold the spawn so, but that has another big 3 down. As Fluxx Esports have complete control of Cat here. Going to try and get pushed down for P2. Fro. Picking up 1. Ben W with 2. Who's 5-1 to begin with here. Make that 6-1. Absolutely popping off. Eventually made it 7 before getting taken out. But having a terrific map already. A terrific series, that's for sure. A top tier player in a top tier side. As Ben turns around to try and pick up 1. Eventually taken out. Billy with the nade. Not really going to hit. As Murphy's going to get in now on the push. Trying to hold from the spawn side. Fluxx have played a fantastic hard point so far. Billy is funding, not really getting an edge on these points. As Murphy picks up 1. And Fluxx Esports truly have locked in. But Billy is funding, going to get the scrap. As we rotate over to this next point. Lampy for 1. The wave of 2 or 3 kills always going to Fluxx. As Lampy picks up 1, but Billy there with the trade. And Billy a little slow now, but eventually starting to kick off as they just get a 4 down there to be able to get on this point. I need to rack a bit of time back and also make sure that they play the spawns. Do you take a look at your map as well? Lampy already thinking about those spawns for P4. As he's going to make his way right through to the back. Murphy and DB picking up kills. And now, surely, the spawns will flip to the side of Fluxx. And they do. Fluxx with the spawns and the way that they would want them. A perfect play of that point. Making sure that they're set up for the next. And EH getting pushed around now. Trying to get to the back. Trying to reflip those spawns. As Fluxx are on the scrap. Getting pushed now into the back. Murphy checking up top. EH picking up the kill. Lampy there with the trade. Devon trying to get around the back. 70-35 now. Fluxx in control. Billy is funding, trying to get themselves an opening. As Devon is just trying to stay alive in the back and be a nuisance. But now going to go for the push. Going to try and pick up 1 in Hill, and he does. We made very weak in the process, but he picks up another. Can he get the 3rd? He can't. Lampy's there, and he just didn't have the help from his team, who had all dropped in the process. 20 seconds left to fight for here. Fluxx looking like they're going to be able to pick it up. And DB holding down the point. It's in with the contest. EH with 2, Billy with 1. Fluxx going to get scrapped, but it's minimal as they need to get rotated to the next point. They have had no map control here whatsoever. The spawns, everything that's needed to go the way of Fluxx, it has gone their way, and they have made it that way through how they've been playing. Lampy holding down the point, watching the right. Eventually taken out with the nade that took him out in the end. Was it his own nade contributing to that? I'm not quite sure. But EH getting killed, taking out a trophy in the process. And Billy is funding, all things considered. They've struggled a lot this map. But one clean hold would change things. And Fluxx Boy, looking for future sponsors if anyone wants to donate to the cause. You and me both, my friend. You and me both. As Billy picks up one. And OTG now have held this scrap for the first time. Have had arguably a better point than Fluxx. And getting themselves closer and closer. Murphy on the redemption arc. Having a troublesome couple of maps before. Murphy now just trying to hold the spawns. In a little bit of trouble, but Ben's there for the trade. To get on this point. However, Billy is funding, looking like they're going to have the spawns. Massive kills coming in. They're holding from the back now. And Fro, how's the timing going to be? You do have a player going through DB. He does eventually get taken out. Fro holding from top. 108 to 86. Fro with the child getting taken out. Fluxx now trying to push from front. And what was a terrific start from Fluxx, and as they, to be fair, do get the wipe there. Billy is funding are not that far behind, as it's been said before, and I'll say it again. Fluxx, sometimes when they get a lead, tend to fall asleep, but surely going to be able to do enough here. As we have Sleeper coming in as well with the follow. Thank you very much, folks. Remember, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, please do consider following to support COD Ireland. This is the Division 1 Grand Final. The bracket reset now in place between Fluxx Esports and Billy is funding, as we are on the reset map 1. Fluxx trying to come from underneath to win it all. Billy is funding. Just need that need that 3-map win. The best of 5. 1 is all they need. 1 best of 5 and they're through. Fluxx have 1 under their belt already. Ben W on the point. And Fluxx held this point really well last time. Played off it really well last time. It looks like they're going to be able to do the same here, as they are structurally held. Perfect 4p4. Ben getting rotated. Fro on the scrap. But again, the money hill. And if Fluxx hold all of this, Billy is funding are going to really struggle to get back into this one. It's reaching that kind of do or die midpoint moment in the map. Starting off well with a big 2. Can they use this opportunity to get themselves pushed in? Weak on the left. Lampy picks up 3. Lampy popping off. Devon just trying to get into a position where he can be awkward and absolutely going to be able to do that. He picks up 2, and Devon nearly with the 3, but Lampy there to pick up another. And it has to be said, while Devon's KD is not the best, when he gets into moments where he needs to perform, he absolutely does. Allowing Billy is funding the time to maybe do something from front here. Lampy well on his way to potentially getting a Hellstorm. EH in the back getting ready to pinch in and be awkward. But it is Fluxx who are still on that time. EH is now baited out of position. Picks up 1 alongside Devon. Ben with 1 in the hill. Eventually taken out. And again, Billy is funding will be able to get in for a little bit of scrap. But still going to be down by under 50. As we go back to P1. And Billy is funding. If they have a strong P1 like they did last time, they're back in this game. But it's reaching that point where, as I said, all it takes is 1 clean hold from Fluxx for this game to potentially be beyond the reach of Billy is funding. The push coming down. Devon with 1. Not able to take out Murphy, who plays his life well. EH and Fro combining for a couple. And now Billy is funding have been picking up more important kills throughout these points. They're not external kills, not around the hill, they're in the hill. They're actually directly preventing a push. They're directly holding on to something. And it's been instrumental for them. But you have players like Lampy, who've absolutely been popping off. And in the last 60 seconds, Billy is funding have been starting to do a good job of nullifying the individual threats of Fluxx. Making sure no one's getting too far ahead of themselves. Fluxx going to be able to hold the scrap. Still going to be around 50 points in it as we go to this next point. They actually come off the scrap now, back on it. Just under a 50-point difference as we go to a crucial point where Billy is funding are going to want to gain some time back. They're holding from the back, and the spawns for Fluxx is coming very through the center, and they're going to hit through Cat to try and do some damage here. DB already getting 1 weak. Devon just on the time. EH trying to play his life. Huge kill. But you have Murphy in a tough position here as he picks up 2. And he helps Ben W pick up that 3rd player. And Billy is funding. Now have split spawns. Where EH gets taken out though. And Fluxx now going to be able to hold the spawns and hold this point from the back. And Murphy was instrumental in that break. And now through that, there may be too much to do for Billy is funding here. As Fluxx go over the 200 point mark. And EH are going to really struggle from this point. They need to chain not 1, not 2, but 3 points together near perfectly to pull this one back. Tall task ahead. Fro picking up 1. The rotation to P3 coming in. Ben's on the point. He's been taken out quick. But it is Fluxx with the spawns, who have again played the spawns on this map immaculately. And it really has to be said, they've rotated so well together as a unit, and it's been a solid team performance in the positional play and how to orchestrate the map. As Devin pushes through mid to pick up 1. Devin's second half of this game has definitely been an improvement on the first. The KD is still negative, but I guarantee that second half has been a stronger performance. In no man's land here, though. He's got help from his teammates, but it is DB still in the point, who is taken out by Fro. EH with 1. And 223 to 160 and counting. Fluxx with the spawns. They need to be able to keep this hold. Lampy with 1. Going to dive onto the point. The push straight through now. They're going to get aggressive through this P3. EH picking up 1. Who's absolutely popped off as well. You've had Ben W with the 36, but you've had EH with the 33 as well. Top tier performance from him. But now on a crucial point. 234 to 167 and counting. Devin with a massive 2 once again. Devin has had some crucial moments here in this map, especially around this P4, as now Fluxx have been funneled into the single spawn, should I say. But they are very close to this point. They've gotten advanced. EH not picking up that kill. I believe he stopped shooting. I think he thought he had it. And Fluxx break in from the front. And ladies and gentlemen, that looks like it may be that for this map. As Fluxx were just afforded the chance to get far too advanced to break into that point as a 4. And a little bit unfortunate for EH as he thought he had the kill. But that one is going to finish 250 to 185 towards Fluxx. Ladies and gentlemen, 250 to 185. And a top tier performance by Fluxx once again. But OTG were growing in that one really, really quickly. But then just a couple of key moments. Like, as I say, folks, you know, you talk about, you know, a P4, it's a crucial point. You need to keep it. And granted, you want to be sitting around the point where you can be, right? You want to be actually around the time. But you got to do it in a way that is a little more proactive outside the point. I mean, Fluxx Esports, and maybe credit to their movement, right? Credit to the way that they're able to play their life. But they were just able to get so far advanced up that map. And I also got to say what's on my screen right now, folks, by the way, to interrupt myself. Ben W picking up a 40 bomb. Huge performance from him. But the fact that Fluxx got so advanced on P4 before there was any real challenge just meant that they could bombard through the single lanes and play the trades. And again, super unlucky with EH. He stopped shooting. I believe he thought he got the kill. Happens to us all. But still, it has to be said that it has to, OTG, there was at times there where it felt like they had their chance. And you have to credit Fluxx for the ability to be able to still come through with the victory, right? Fluxx ultimately had to get that win. But OTG, you still feel like they could have had moments where they would have kept that way closer. But again, you have that push in that P4, and then the prior P2, you have Murphy picking up a big 2-piece, rotating through that palms to get round the back. And that was a pivotal, seminal moment that contributed to Fluxx coming away with the map number 1. So ladies and gentlemen, over 80 of you tuned in to the COD Ireland Division 1 Grand Finals. Make that over 90 of you, as we are reaching the real crunch hour here. The bracket reset has happened, and we are through the first map of it, where Fluxx Esports have come away with it 250 to 185. 4 maps on the trot now for them, only needing 2 more to come away with a victory and to be declared the COD Ireland Division 1 champions. OTG still have every chance of coming away with this one, but now to do so, they'll need to take a skyline map, which they were dominated on before by Fluxx in the previous map bracket. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Map number 2 is going to be getting underway in just a second, and you're not going to want to miss it. Ladies, gentlemen, it is time. Barely any downtime, which is what you love to see, as we're getting straight into map number 2 between Fluxx Esports and OTG's Billy is Funding. Protocol Search and Destroy. I was wrong about it the first time, but I'm definitely right about it this time, as we are loaded into the map, ready to go. And we are about to see which one of these teams are feeling themselves more in one of the outlier maps that's cropped up in these brackets. So ladies and gentlemen, best of luck to both of these teams as we get underway. And let's start on board at Murphy. On the offense for Fluxx, what's the play? Going straight up to the top window. Ben with the first blood. And getting out with his life as well. EH thinking of the chase. And watching the angles. Lampy picks up 1. Bomb now been planted at B. Fluxx Esports in a great position to take this round. But Fro gets 1. He's going to get shot in the back though. Some real unfortunate timing, which is going to leave EH the last alive in a perilous position to be in with a submachine gun. He's going to be able to pick up 1, but he's been pinned both sides. And I don't think any player was going to be able to get out of that scenario. Fluxx Esports coming away with round 1 in a well-orchestrated offensive effort. And just, yeah, pinned in from both sides there. You can see it there. There was no real chance he was coming out on top of that one. I think it's fair to say. 1 round in the bag for Fluxx, who are continuing to dominate throughout the course of both of these series now. Turning it up when they needed to most. Billy is Funding. Looking to hit that regain. And DB getting 1, but Lampy taking out his own teammate with the nade, and Fro getting 1, all of a sudden making it a 2v3, making a 1v3. Lampy the last alive, just managed to rotate out with his life. He's going to dive straight back down, trying to get onto this one quickly, and waiting, just holding the angle. May favor him here. He doesn't pick up the kill though. He needed to get that one. Going to get shot in the back, and Billy is Funding answer back with a round of their own. And I think it is fair to say, ladies and gentlemen, that this is an absolutely must-win map for Billy is Funding. Very much will be a case for Billy is Funding that they're going to have to rely on the search and destroys and the controls. They nearly won the last search and destroy. They're now on this one where, once again, it's seemingly a tit-for-tat affair. The hard points have been getting away from them, but the controls are any man's game. So Billy is Funding arguably in a must-win situation. Fluxx now pushing underneath, going to go rapid onto this B, where Billy's going to pick up 2. The trade's coming in. It's chaos. It's hectic. But Murphy picks up 1. 2v2 scenario now. As Murphy childs, but he gets taken out. And now the push coming in. Surely the trade there. And one of the quicker rounds you will see on a protocol search and destroy going the way of Billy is Funding. The rapid push to A, a play that so many teams do usually try to make at least once or twice in the map. and nearly going their way. Murphy held an angle, picked up a kill, but then arguably just challing out mid when he didn't need to, being overzealous with the pace, and credit to OTG picking up that kill and picking up the map, or the round win for it, should I say. The map win is the goal. Can they achieve that goal here? We'll go on board with Devon on a 4 streak with an RCXD in hand. I want to draw attention to that alongside the comment from Salty. Devon seems to be letting OTG down big time. We'll tie that into this 4-0, and you may have been proven right. First blood coming in, 3v3. But at least he has the RCXD in hand for future reference. More trades coming in, 2v2. And what is it with these search and destroys being, as I said, folks, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the ultimate tit-for-tat affairs. One of these things, and then always the other, it seems. Constant trades, constant 1v1s, back-to-backs, checkerboard kill feeds, and now the push coming in from Fluxx, who are trying to get aggressive on this one. It's up to Ben W. He's going to have to pick up 2. He gets 1. He's just holding the distance with the AR, and he nearly picks up the second, but not to be, as Billy is funding, beginning to chain a few rounds themselves now. 3 on the trot as they go up 3-1. And you have to say, done a great job there of holding the distance with the AR, not getting overzealous, recognizing they were going up against subs, but then seeing the sub go in there and close the gap. Playing extremely knowledgeable to the weapon that they have in their hands. It's one of the many elements that you need in your arsenal to be a top level player at this level of Call of Duty. The best in the country they're trying to become here. And both teams just one series away, just a couple of maps away from being able to claim that title. Even the non-Irish players, we'll let them claim it for season 1. As Billy is funding, pick up a big 2, throw for 1, and it's been an absolute collapse from Fluxx here in this round, as Murphy is going to have to try and rescue the ace. And that's not going to happen. Billy is funding 4 rounds on the trot, seemingly having Fluxx's number here on this map. And you know, one thing that it's really making me think out of all things is the fact that we will potentially have Skylines coming up is why only the greatest will allow Skyline to go back in. Because I have to say, from what I've seen of Fluxx before, and again with so much credit to Fluxx and their roster, when they play together on maps that they're not used to, on your outlier maps from your vault, from your Skylines, they seem to be in a lot of trouble. And we seem to have scans and repairs here. I actually think the entire lobby, apart from me, has scanned and repaired. As you see, 1 went on Billy is funding. They've said 2 have gone in one side, and then all of them now gone. Ladies and gentlemen, you hate to see it, but we'll switch it back here as we get a reset going. 4-1 here for Billy is funding, who are well on their way to potentially getting their first map of the series. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We'll get back into the lobby, continue right from where we left off, and you're not going to want to miss that. Trust me. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gents, we're back in. Being very hectic here. Again, apologies. The sides aren't perfectly right. We'll switch that now. I am unsure as to where we are now at this point, considering what the ruling has been between these teams. They have decided to move on with it very quick, so I'll argue that they both already know what they want to do. But 2v2 scenario here. Whether it's 4-1 or 5-1, I'm not too sure. Not playing for their streaks anyway, just carrying on. As Devin makes it a 1v1, but he's taken out. Fluxx Esports take a round. And now I believe it is 5-2 or 4-2, depending on what they've decided. Because I'm not sure with the round having either started or not. I'm not sure. We'll say 4-2, and if I'm proved wrong, I'm proved wrong. No, we'll say 5-2 if I'm proved wrong, I'm proved wrong. Because that way, we're not caught out if it just decides to end out of nowhere. So as far as I'm aware, again, you would think I'd be more aware, given my situation, but I'm absolutely not. Billy is funding 5, Fluxx 2, and it is first to 6. So Billy is funding playing. They only need one more round. Fluxx looking like they're going to try and take this ball maybe to B. Just waiting for the peaks. Gonna get pushed up here, up the zip. Trying to catch him out. Not going to happen, though. Fro with the first blood. Does he know bombs down? I'm not sure. And the timing working out to protect him now. 4v2 as well. Murphy and Ben W last alive and in huge trouble. Trying to rotate out, but now it's all up to Murphy. Murphy takes 1. 3v1 now. Looking for the ace. 28 seconds to get it. Going inside. Gonna check up top. Tries to take the shots. And Billy's funny playing this cleverly. Happy to have this clock run down. Trying to go in with the knife. But not to be. As Billy is funding take that round, and I believe that could be it. Of course, we will see if these teams end the game, then they'll know that's it. And that's one thing about these rosters, is that in a way they almost know a little better than I do. I don't have to worry about them complaining. Billy is funding. Come away with the round. And come away with the map. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Billy is funding. They only needed 1. They got it done. And because of that, they take map number 2. 6-2. And are now well on their way. We actually got back to the lobby for the first time, but ladies and gentlemen, you'll see it here. We'll get that updated, and only the greatest. 1 map down, meaning we'll be going to at least 1 skyline hardpoint. OTG finally able to take a map when they needed to. Could they be on the way to taking the victory here? As we get ready for our vault control, folks, it's not going to take us very long, so don't go anywhere. We'll be bringing this one to you and getting it underway in just a moment or two. My God, folks, I wasn't lying to you when I said a moment or two, was I? Because we are getting underway with map 3. They got that one started so quick, I barely got the graphic changed in time in-game, which would have made things very interesting, to say the least. But ladies and gentlemen, here we go between these two sides as they once again, for the second time this evening, are loading in to a vault control. Should be an absolute bang out between the two of them. Best of luck to them both. Luck won't be what they need, though. It'll just be gunny. Here we go. Starting on board with Murphy. What's the play? Going for the hold. Fro with a big 2. Devin with 1. And OTG clearing the point here. And OTG having an immaculate defensive round, and we've seen that they were able to have that before. They've already shown that they have the ability to do this. But can they do it again? Fluxx Esports finally going to be able to get out after getting a couple of kills, but already in trouble once again from EH, who is on the wide. EH trying to pick up one, he gets it. And DB jumping down, quickly taken out. Billy with one. Keeping this point defended, not so much as a lick of a tick. As this has been perfection from Billy's funding, but now Fluxx, they need to hit a point and they need to do it now. But Fro continuing to pop off. Ben W picks up one before being taken out. Now all of a sudden they are running out of time. DB needs to fly towards this point. He's got 4 seconds to do so. Can he get onto A? He can't. Devon with the double. A double Devon from heaven as Billy is funding. Take an even more perfect defensive round against Fluxx Esports. And Fluxx, we saw their perfect defense the last time round. But OTG have just one-upped them here with an even better one. My word. On to round number 2. The best defensive round you'll see. How are Billy is funding going to operate on the offense? The nade from Lampy. Huge beginning here for Fluxx. As Billy picks up one. EH with 2 now. Getting moved up into positions. Obvious statements with Zep casts. Moving up into positions, they're shooting their guns and they're getting kills. As EH picks up another around the side on a 4 streak now. This has been a great run, which is going to help him get on this A point, but for how long? He will have the help from his teammate here, so the double stack is in. Surely this means at least 1 tick is going to go. And it does. 1 tick in the lead now here for Billy is funding as Devon and EH combined for more. EH now on the 5 streak. 10 and 4. Finally getting taken out is Fro. Continuing on this point. 2.5 ticks gone. Eventually getting taken off a point as well. Now it's checkerboard to kill feeds. Fluxx going in for the clear. DB with a couple of huge kills. Now getting cleared. Only 2 ticks gone. 18 versus 17. Billy is funding. Going to want to try and get as many ticks as possible. Maybe even be able to take the offensive round, as that would make their lives easier. On this capture. Picking up 1. Lampy. Or Ben W at 1. Ben W at 2. And now he's having the clutch moments as Billy is funding. Running out of time to be able to do anything here. On a 3 streak. Ben W trying to push into spawns. And Billy underground just waiting for a moment to be able to get assisted by his side. But Murphy picked up 2 there. And Billy is going to have no choice but to stop the clock at B. As he gets pushed up. But does he realize Murphy's going to be able to get an easy kill? And it's going to be 14 v 7. And this round is going to end with Fluxx taking the win. But not quite as cleanly as OTG did in the previous. So OTG, 2 ticks up. It's not much, but it's something. And it has to be said, both of these teams have been performing so immaculately well in these defensive rounds that they're going to value these defensive rounds more than anything. So all these ticks are going to be massively important because they realize they can get the defense and can probably win. But we did think that last time. And then Fluxx came in and shocked us all. 1 apiece. We move into round 3. On board with Murphy. Stuns being thrown. No hits. Ben W with the first blood, or it would have been Lampy, I believe. Or DB, I don't know. Codcaster's confusing when it's broken. Quick tick gone on A. Having a far better offense this time around. 27 versus 25, tick and a half gone. But EH and Devon got a couple. And EH at 1. And now a really checkerboard kill feed once again with Ben W picking up the last of those kills. As he needs to try and pick up the second here. He's got him weak and he's picked it up against Billy. That's huge. 2.5 ticks gone. Can he continue to pop off here? Sliding left and right. But Fro picks up the kill and manages to play his life. But that A point is gone. The best offensive round yet. 3 ticks to 2. As Fluxx Esports now going to try work towards a B. 1 life ahead and 2 minutes to do so. They're in a great position here as DB gets round the back. Ben double or Murphy picking up 1. Or Lampy picking up 1. My God. Can't get them right at all. As his DB now holding up top. Crucial position. And this is where Fluxx could get an offensive round. When they got set up as well as this last time, they took a crucial offense. So maybe looking to do so again. If they take this map, Billy is funding will need to win 2 on Skyline. And if you remember from the previous series, if you just joined us, this is the bracket reset. We had Series 1 where Fluxx won 3-0. And they won those search and destroys. So the fact that they're going to crop up again, maybe not once, but twice, is going to be huge alarm bells for Billy is funding as they are nowhere near this point. Fluxx dominating the offense from a perfect defense to a completely imperfect one for Billy is funding as they lose that defensive round and Fluxx gain a critical offensive one. Where Billy is funding are now going to need to answer back with one of their own, or they are in huge trouble. But I believe that they can take solace, if my math is correct, they can take solace in the fact that if they can win this offensive round, Billy is funding, they'll be guaranteed a defensive round in the next one. So knowing that at least if you go through this one, you'll have the easier side and you don't have to do 2 offenses. The drop down underground, it's a straight hit to B. Trying to get the early ticks on this one. Will it be successful? DB trying to get a pick here. Trying to go for the first blood, but it's Billy that picks it up. And DB gets 1. Ben W with another. But a tick and a half now gone. EH's nade is perfection and he picks up another kill. Still on this point now, trying to get the second tick, but it doesn't happen. But now they're on A. Nearly 2 ticks at B. That second tick would have been huge. Murphy with 1. Murphy's had another relatively slow game, but his team's still been able to dominate on the offensive. Ticks going quickly now at this A. An unfortunate mantle there. It looked like almost like an over mantle, meaning that he gets taken out and there's going to be 2 ticks at A. Nearly, but Lampy's nearly gone huge. Has he stopped that second tick completely? It looks like he may have. Lampy perhaps just saved the day here at this A point. And Billy also not had a great game there. Very equal stats to Murphy. But then you have 2 players on both sides equally popping off. EH 23 and 18. DB 25 and 16. As Lampy picks up a huge 2. Fro gets 1. Running out of time now for the caps Billy is funding as Fluxx have started to get a little bit of control. But Devon picking up a big 2 there. And we've seen Devon get a lot of big 2 pieces at crucial moments for his side, but it's not enough now as Billy is funding. They're just beginning to lack a little bit of gunny here at a crucial moment. Fluxx Esports have stepped it up and are constantly on the winning side of trades. It's a 2 for 2, but Billy needs to get on the point. He's not going to win that gunfight. And Lampy popping off. 10 seconds left. 11v8. Billy is funding. Nowhere near capping this point yet. They need to get it clean. But DB picks up 1. Billy gets 1. Devon with 1. They're on the point with 1.5 seconds left. Billy on his own. Can he rescue this for his side? 7v4. The lives, they're running out. They're going to get traded out. And ladies and gentlemen, Fluxx Esports take map number 3, 3-1, and are 1 map away from being crowned the COD Ireland Division 1 champions. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Fluxx Esports taking map number 2 in the bracket reset that they orchestrated. Now just 1 map away from having gone the longest way around to being crowned COD Ireland Div 1 champions. The top team in Ireland. What a performance by them. They are well on their way. Only the greatest now not only have to win a Skyline Hardpoint, but also a Skyline Search and Destroy, maps that they lost both of in the previous bracket. And not only lost, they lost the Skyline Hardpoint 250 to 99. So they have to orchestrate the comeback of all comebacks here. But if they do so, they'll go to a Skyline Search and Destroy, in which I believe that was either a 6-4 or a 6-5 in which they lost. So a Search and Destroy in Skyline is feasible for them. It's the impossible task that's up next. Fluxx Esports, strong favourites to take this series now. Can OTG cause the upset and take us to a map 5? Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back for this map in a few minutes. So hype for both of these teams. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, potentially your last map of the series and your last map of Season 1 of the COD Ireland League, we get loaded into a Skyline Hardpoint. Fluxx Esports, strong favourites on this map. I believe Billy's Funding have beaten them on it before, though. They're going to have to look to do so again, as Fluxx came out on top the last time round. It truly is now anyone's game. Thank you very much for tuning into this series. Thank you very much for tuning into this season. If this is the last one, it's been a hell of a ride this season, folks. And best of luck to both of these teams in what could be their final map of the season. Going on board with Devon. To begin with. Moving towards the site. Billy with 1, but he's taken out by a nade. And Lampy picking up 2 there with that nade and kill. But Fro for 2, EH at 1. They get themselves on the point. And Lampy has taken 2. Lampy's taken 3. Or DB, I believe. And to actually try to get the 4th out the back, but he is eventually taken out. Murphy on the point. Watching up top. Trying to soak up the time. Once again, Fluxx showing that they are really strong in this P1 as they pick up a clean wave, and they do have the spawns for P2. Billy is Funding already on the back foot. Massive kills coming in 28 to 4 as we move to P2. It's a checkerboard, a kill feed, but one that is indeed favoring the side of Fluxx. Lampy and DB combining for a couple. Front trying to reflank around the back. Picking up one, going to get instantly traded out though, and Fluxx have been on point with the trades. They've just been getting these kills quicker, not missing their shots, which has been key for them. DB on the point, 50 points in the lead already. Fluxx are dominant here. Billy is funding, need to stem this bleeding immediately. Fro going to get in for the trade. I'm going to get in for the scrap, potentially, unless Lampy has something to say about it. Billy is funding, get a little bit of scrap here. Not even because of a chal, or they actually do get on the scrap. They have more people coming in behind, but Billy is funding, are nowhere near rotated for this next point, as Devon's going to go underground to try and make a play. But Fluxx Esports are in complete control of this map. Arguably even more control than they had this time, the last time round. But EH trying to disrupt the flow. Ben W, DB getting a couple. Fro at one, Billy with one. Can they get broken through? They can pinch either side here. Clean shot from EH as he turns around the back. He has the reads. Massive moment for Billy is funding if they pick up a wave of kills. They have spawns for new and some control of old. But DB or Ben W getting that control back quickly. And Fluxx Esports already on the precipice of going over the 100 point mark here. As this is the map that they very much love to play. It feels like it's their home here. As Billy is funding are now spawning out. And EH is desperately trying to rescue something from his forest side here. But Devon, 3 and 11. Not having a great game at all. Really struggling to pick up those kills. And ultimately that can be a difference maker when you're playing at this level. Just having one player not quite make up the numbers. But Billy has gone huge. Can his side back him up here? They need a clean hold. And Devon couldn't pick up that kill either. Billy would have taken a spot, but then DB or Murphy in with the pick. And Devon now spawning out. And that was huge. Devon just can't pick up these key gunfights at all. As DB now dropping down. The kill's coming in. Lampy on the point. Do Fluxx sense potentially the finish line is in sight? As Lampy goes through underground. Trying to move up top. Get control of the spawns for P2, even though it's only P1. Fluxx again just dominating this map, but big kills. Again, EH for 2. EH has been getting so many 2 pieces. So many 2 pieces for this man. He's pushing right through the back, trying to guarantee spawns, but his team once again having very little presence towards the point. Big kill on the hill. Then DB getting taken out, and OTG here need to start worrying a bit more about what directly is in front of them versus the spawns, because they're setting a lot of... There are times where people are going on a lot of full flanks or a lot of spawn flanks, and they're losing a lot of time in the process. They need to go a little bit more route 1. Maybe opt for holding from the front rather than playing the spawns, because it's just meaning that there's half the pressure on the front. And Fluxx Esports are seemingly dealing with that no problem. 22-13 now. Ben W has popped off again when his team has needed him most. As Devon pushes up. Trying to help out his teammate. Can't pick up that kill. Shaky shots. It just isn't working out for him here. Fro trying to pick up 2 but could only get 1 as Lampy grabs the kill on Lampy and Ben W. Hats off to yous. Yous are popping off in this map. 152-75. A clean hold here. Puts them over 100 points in the lead. And on their way to being COD Ireland champions. Ben W at 1. Ben W with 2. Turning with the reads. Eventually taken off. Who will get the scrap? 10 seconds of it. It will go to Billy. under a 90-point deficit as we go to a key P3 and 4. It all comes down to this as DB is now on the hold. Fluxx getting every bit of time they can before the push comes in. Devon making mistakes. That's an understatement. As Fro on the point, 14 and 25, make that 26. Not had the best game either. Those two have been nullified by the ferocity of Fluxx, as EH was on a 5 streak before being taken out there. And it does have to be said, if Billy is Funding's roster had players that were playing currently of the level of EH and Billy as the other two, then that would have really damaged them. Damaged Fluxx, that is. Ben W holding around the point. Fluxx over the 200 point mark now. 120 points in the lead. Billy is Funding get the 3. Because now it all comes down to this. Billy is Funding. They need to play perfect hard point from here on in. EH on another killing spree of 5. The most kills on the map. He is doing everything in his power for his side here. 208 to 115. Devon gets swarmed in the hill as Fluxx get through. They have the spawns. As Fro picks up 1, and that's a massive wave of kills. They need to get a couple more, though, and they need to get onto this point quick. They can't let Fluxx get any more time. But Fluxx are very much looking like they'll get this scrap now. Oh, dear. Not going well for them. DB now on the point. DB up top. Picking up the kills now, Fluxx. And they're within touching distance. 25 points away. And Lampy watching over the point. 100 points in the difference. Fluxx touching distance to the victory. Devon struggling big time now. Billy is Funding are trying to get rotated now onto this P2. This is their last chance. Kills coming in left and right. It's gotten scrappy here this game as Fluxx are edging closer and closer to this finish line. It is right there. They can taste the victory. DB picking up 1. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Fluxx Esports taking out Billy is Funding in the grand finals to be crowned the COD Ireland Division 1 champions. My word, folks, there you have it. 250 to 135. And that is all she wrote. Unable to take anything from the skyline as Billy is Funding bow out at the death. And there you go. Fluxx Esports coming all the way from behind to take the grand finals and become your champions. Massive congratulations to them. And commiserations to OTG, who went all the way, but just couldn't get far enough. Fully deserving the championship there. And massive thank you for them to coming in, for playing, should I say, throughout the season and making their way through the playoffs and taking part in COD Ireland. And folks, thank you all so much for tuning into the broadcast. It's been absolutely spectacular. I really do hope you have enjoyed what you've seen here this season. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen on this broadcast. And massive GGs, as we said, to Fluxx Esports. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed what you've seen here tonight, if you enjoyed what you've been seeing through this season, please do make sure to follow. Make sure to show your support by subscribing if you can. All of it goes towards helping fund leagues, tournaments, LAN events, which we're hoping to run throughout the year. Please do consider, folks, supporting where you can. And I hope to see you back in Season 2. And look, I want to take you back to this map score because we do our final recap. Fluxx Esports on the bracket reset, winning a Vault Hardpoint pretty convincingly, although it had its moments where it got a little bit iffy. Going on to the Protocol Search Destroy, OTG loving the S&D, having very, very strong performance on that one and looking like maybe they were going to be able to pull this back. But a Vault Control where Fluxx got that offensive round, it just felt like it turned the tide. It just absolutely felt like it turned the tide in this whole thing, to where if OTG had a bit of momentum, it was demolished there. And then going on to the Skyline Hardpoint, a map that I was bemused made it back in, given the way that Fluxx played in the previous, as we had it as the first map in the first bracket, and it was 250 to 99. Barely any difference in that one. 40 points. And Fluxx Esports come away with the victory there and are your champions. Fluxx Esports first, OTG second, and Faceless Esports in third. That is how Division 1 ends. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep it short and sweet as we always have with the endings of these broadcasts. We're going to leave it there. And we hope to see you back in Season 2. We hope to see all these rosters back. All these rosters, all these players, all these orgs. It's been an absolute pleasure having them in, and just once again need to say for the final time tonight, thank you all so much for the support. That goes for the players, that goes for the people watching, and it goes for the teams who are taking part and continue to take part throughout the season. Despite our ups and downs, for our first season in a small team led by only around 7 people right now to manage 38 teams, I'm very proud of everyone here at the team, the effort that they've put in, and we only hope to improve going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much, and we'll see you back on this Twitch for Season 2. But until then, take care, and we'll leave it there. Been an absolute pleasure, folks. Peace.